G'day guys, Clint Taylor here from the Property Investor Centre. And lately we've been getting quite a few questions about our e-coaching property mentoring program, all about what sort of information does it cover in the course. So let's jump on into it and we'll have a good look. The program consists of 12 in-depth modules covering each a vital area of property investment. So module 1 is all about mindset and attitude. So it's a really important module that lays the foundations for you to move forward and achieve success in many things as well as property investment. So the way you think is absolutely critical to achieving success. We deal a lot with identifying and facing your fears and then overcoming those fears. So that some of these fears you might have had your entire life and they have held you back up till this point. So we need to identify them, face them, and then work around how to overcome them so that you can actually move forward and start achieving what you want. How to build up your self-confidence and motivation levels. You know, it's really key. You know, if you go out there and you start dealing with fast-talking, Mercedes-driving real estate agents, it can be a little bit intimidating. If you don't have that self-confidence there. So you need to build those levels up so that you can get past all of that and actually achieve what you want. Creating a positive mental attitude to achieve success is vitally important. Module 2 is setting up to invest. That's building the foundations to a sound, solid property investment business. How to eliminate the personal debt, how to improve your borrowing ability, how to build your team of experts, how to get yourself set up ready to invest, how to structure your property investment business to first of all protect your assets and look to minimise the tax that you pay as well. How to arrange finance to start investing, and we also dive into the finance in far greater detail in Module 8. Property investment strategy. So there's 4 main strategies that you can use to make money from property. We look at the pros and cons of each: buy and hold, long-term income, and capital growth. This should be the mainstay of any property investor. Buy and hold investment is where it's at. That's what builds your long-term wealth and passive income. Of course, we get into trading as well, because there's definitely great opportunities to make some good cash profits through trading. Contract assignment, contemporaneous settlement, or back-to-back settlement is commonly known as, and trading, renovating and on-selling. So, we've got experience in all of these things. We show you how to do them and we look at the pros and cons of all of them. These trading strategies are great for making lump sum cash profits that you can use to fund lifestyle, or ultimately push back into buying more buy and hold property and increasing the size of your portfolio. Okay, module 4, finding deals. So it's a key module that most people can't wait to get into. So it covers all of the practical aspects of actually identifying, sourcing, and putting these deals together so that you can invest in them. We cover off the different types of properties that you could invest in, and we look at the pluses and minuses of each type of property and how to select the type of property that's probably best suited to your situation and your risk profile and personality type. So how to get to know your market, how to do your research and due diligence into the market, where to find cash flow and capital growth properties, so where to start looking for them, how and where to actually source properties, and we look at many places that you'd probably never ever think of where you could actually use to source property through. Module 5, securing and controlling. So this is my favourite area of property investment. It's what gets me excited. I love the negotiation side of things. I love sourcing property and locking it up in contract. So the paperwork's really important. All of the legal documentation and practical aspects of the property purchasing process. So understanding sale and purchase agreements, using the conditions and the clauses to tailor each contract to suit what we want, lock the property up in contract so that we've got the option to buy without having those obligations. All the tips, tricks that you need to know about working with real estate agents, how to identify their tactics and conditioning that they often use, how to negotiate with them, and a few strategies to win that negotiation game. All the stuff that I love, and obviously all of the mistakes to avoid, and how to deal with your when your emotions start coming into the picture as well. We need to keep a lid on those. Analysing deals and performing due diligence. We get into the nitty-gritty of how to separate out the great deals from the duds. It's one that a lot of people are keen to get into, and they're not disappointed. We need to look at understanding all of the financial data, all of the jargon, doing our numbers, our financial analysis, cash flow forecasting,
understanding how to use the performance indicators to measure and compare different property deals to each other to make sure that we buy the good ones. How to complete proper due diligence on a property so that we know that it's a good one to buy, or whether there's some hidden problems that we should run away fast from. How to use leverage to perform all of these tasks in a far smarter way and operate far more efficiently and effectively, really. And we can also do all of these things remotely. We don't actually have to be in the same location where we're buying the property. So we teach you how to do all of that. We cover off all the common traps and mistakes that many people do make, so that you don't make them, and how you can avoid them. Valuations and valuers. So buying below market value is an absolutely key point for the success or failure of a property investor. So this module will set you up to make instant capital gains from day one on every single property purchase that you make from now on. Understanding how different property types are valued. So we've talked about income capitalisation and how you can use this to profit. We spend a lot more time on that because it's a really important part of understanding investing, particularly when it comes to the larger type investment properties. How to work with valuers to our advantage or your advantage, and strategies for adding extra value to a property. How to identify opportunities to create those huge equity gains on purchase, like in that block of 11 units example that I showed you in Lower Hutt. Okay, Module 8, property finance. Absolutely key. We don't go very far as a property investor without the ability to secure finance to buy property. So there's an absolute wealth of information in here about securing the money we need to invest. So understanding the truth about how property finance really works. How to increase our ability to borrow. So we cover off, we give you a few options and strategies there, which gives you the ability to increase your ability to borrow more money. Who and when to use. So dealing with a bank or the mortgage broker. So we need to use one of them when we start off, and then at a certain stage of our investing, we need to make that change. So when do we do that? We discuss mortgage pre-approvals, how to go about setting those up. We discuss types of property loans and how to use revolving credit or lines of credit to supercharge our investing. Structuring our finance proposals. So we showed you the finance proposal earlier on. Understanding interest rates, interest rate risks, when to fix, when to float, how to structure our loans and our fixed terms so that we spread our fixed terms across our portfolio. So there's a lot to learn there about diversifying risk and reducing investment risk. Refinancing, deposit recycling, and we go into much more that I won't dwell on too much at this point. Okay, number 9, property management. Managing your properties is something that we absolutely cannot afford to neglect. So we share our personal experience and advice on the subject of property management. It's key that we have a reasonably good understanding of the Tenancy Act and our rights and obligations as a landlord, even if we do use property managers to do that stuff for us. So should you manage your properties yourself, or should we employ a professional property manager to do that for you? Finding tenants. How do we go about doing that? To let adverts. We'll give you some templates and ideas of how to write proper to let adverts that will guarantee that you'll get far more inquiry than the average to let advert will. So simple little things like that can make a big difference. How to show the property properly, how to do due diligence into your potential tenants. We discuss market rent levels and how to do proper market research into that, and we even give you a few extra tips on how to test the market rent level and test how much inquiry you actually get at certain rent levels. So it gives you the ability to sort of really push rents and make sure that you're not missing out on any rental upside. We give information and advice on signing up tenants, how we handle bond monies, property inspections, and obviously from time to time we'll get tenant problems, so we talk about how to deal with that. Selecting and working with professional property managers, and that's something that we certainly recommend that you do, but not not all property managers are created equal, so we go through how to find a good one that will actually work well for you. Okay, number 10, insurance, lawyers and conveyancing. Sounds really boring, but absolutely we need these guys. So we'll show you how to make the most of their expertise so that we can take full advantage of their skills. We talk about the types of insurance available, what we need, what we don't need, some of the insurance traps that we can avoid, and ways to save money with our insurance premiums. How to choose the right insurance broker, a lot of facts about lawyers and conveyancing, and understanding the full legal process right from the sale and purchase agreement right through to the conveyancing and settlement of the property. Okay, this is a really great module. Lots of people absolutely love this one and look forward to it, and it's all about renovation, and we touch on the depreciation side of things as well. So knowing when and how to renovate a property is a major part of smart property investing. So this module tells you all of the facts, plus we give you an absolute heap of really valuable tips and tricks for adding value through renovation without spending an awful lot of money, and we give you all of our rules and strategies and criteria for doing that. We discuss the types of renovation strategies, so there's a few different strategies there. We show you how to identify which properties to renovate and which ones we absolutely must avoid. Renovation rules, tips and tricks for maximising value and minimising spend. We'll show you how to do market research and to identify and to know what your target market is. So if you're looking at on selling the property and it's a home, who's your target buyer or who's your target tenant. So you're making sure that you match the level of the renovation to your target market. So should you do the do-it-yourself renovation, or should you look at getting tradespeople in to do it for you? This is a common mistake that people make. We cover this off in great detail, and you may actually change your mind at the end of this module what you think about DIY. Understanding the numbers, so we look at reno budgeting and forecasting, making sure we do proper analysis on doing our due diligence when we're looking at a renovation project before we commit ourselves to actually buying it is absolutely key. Understanding depreciation, how it affects our investment, and how and when to actually go about valuing the chattels in a property investment when you first buy the property. Okay, and the final module, number 12, the big picture, putting it all together. So by now, the majority of people will have bought their first investment property. A lot of people have actually bought several properties by this stage, and it's now time to start putting all of the pieces together and focus on the bigger picture. So we create your plan of action to move forward, after the completion of the program and what you have to do to carry things on. We give you the 16 steps to your first investment property for those people that haven't actually bought at that point, which is normally not many. And then we talk about combining multiple investment strategies. So rather than just working the one same old strategy that we've been doing, we look at getting several investment strategies all in play at once, parallel to each other, and we really start ramping up the results that we can get through property investment doing that. And we ask the question, how much is enough? When do we stop? How much, how big does our portfolio have to get before we can stop? So this question may not seem relevant right now, but as you proceed through the system and through your property investment, you definitely will get to a position where you will need to be asking yourself that question. We go and look at some case studies of real life examples of investors in different situations and look at what is actually realistically possible to achieve in a few short years through investing in property. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you've gained some value out of it. If you've got a question for us, feel free to ask it in the comments down below, and we'll include it into next week's video. If you'd like to learn more about property investment, feel free to jump on one of our free property investment training webinars that we're currently running, and we'll put a registration link in the description down below. Also, please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel for more great property investment content coming up. See you next week.